Hello, and welcome to the Fear Channel, a channel with regular broadcasts telling the most chilling of urban legends, ghost stories, and forays into the darkest corners of the human mind. Those faint of heart or prone to night terrors should proceed at their own risk. Tonight's story is Highway Murder.
I was on a cross-country road trip with a colleague. We were driving through West Texas on a major highway. In the area where we were, even the major highway was pretty desolate. There'd been a truck stop or gas station about every 100 miles, and every one of them was solitary with no other buildings in sight. These weren't really towns, the exits, just places to get more gas so that you could get to the next gas station. It was pretty late at night, and she had been driving for like 4 hours. I usually can drive for about 8 hours before I'm tired out. I go on frequent road trips, but she could only manage 4 or 5 before it was my turn again. We were also getting low on gas, at about a quarter tank, and you learn from road travel to fill up whenever you get the chance. So she was looking for a gas station as we drove along. It's really corny, but we were talking about fate and destiny and some other weird stuff at the time. That kind of conversation gets me keyed up and worried, so I was trying to change the subject. She took an exit while we were talking, and I got out my coffee mug so I could fill up for my turn driving. We pulled into a typical Nowheresville gas station. Just the station and a trailer out back. There was another car parked in front of the doors off to one side. We got out, still talking, and walked up to the double doors, each of us grabbing a door handle. The doors were locked. I turned and looked around to see if there was a sign. Sometimes places like this will put up a back in 5 minutes note on the door. It was at this point that I noticed several things in succession. The coffee maker inside was halfway done brewing a fresh pot of coffee. The monitors that showed the store were visible from the outside, where we were, but all of them were showing static. And there was a splash of bright red on the door in the back of the place, which was closed. I suddenly realized I was looking at a huge streak of blood with handprints in it. Every hair on my neck stood up. My friend began shaking the door, yelling, "We need to get gas!" But I had already turned and walked away from the doors. "We have to leave, now." I grabbed her arm and started propelling her back to the car. Now I noticed the other car in the lot. It had no plates, it was dingy and had dents. There was an empty gun rack in the window of it. I ran to the car, dragging her with me. She seemed to take forever to open her door and get in. She had the keys still. The whole time she kept saying, "But we need to get gas." Well, I tried to explain to her, "There's blood in there. Blood." After what seemed like a year, she pulled the car out. When we were backing up, I saw through the windows that the back door in the gas station was opening. We had pulled away before anyone came out, thankfully. I freaked out until we were 20 miles down the highway. I tried to call the police, but had no signal. I didn't get a phone signal until we had driven about 40 miles and had gotten to a truck stop. Again, not in the town. Just a building on its own in the middle of nowhere. I called the cops. They thanked me, and I never heard anything more about it. To this day, I feel like if I hadn't freaked out, we probably would have met the robber, or whoever was in the back room of that place. To this day, I still wish I had been able to find out what the hell had happened back there.